Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. I just got back to the home base, and I have no time to set things up. You're getting a really personal, behind-the-scenes look at the SwitchForce HQ setup. You never see this paneled wall. This is how it looks behind me. It's just all sorts of weird, but I wanted to bring you the Nintendo news before I had to run to some appointments and take care of some things. I've been gone 11 days, and it's just been chaotic and crazy. But what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. We got important stuff to talk about, including Nintendo apologizing for their biggest guffaw in a couple years, and the biggest stealth drop ever is about to hit. The biggest stealth drop ever. All right, Nintendo saw Microsoft do Hi-Fi Rush and Bethesda and that game get 9s and be cool. They want to one-up it. So let's kick it off. Make sure to hit that like button if you guys enjoy these videos, and to say hello to the strange behind the scenes. You can actually, if I go this way, you can see one of my new posters chilling back here. You can see a poster rolled up here. This is just all sorts of a strange angle, all sorts of weird nonsense. But I want to kick it off with a little bit of Nintendo extra news for you, okay? So the first one that we want to dive into is these shutdowns, okay? So multiple free-to-play games are being shut down pronto, and this sort of goes to show the very volatile nature of creating a cool multiplayer game and then it just vanishing. So Rumbleverse is shutting down, which is sort of the wrestling-based battle royale, and then we now have news that Knockout City is shutting down. Now, Knockout City is EA's dodgeball-themed sort of battle royale, and it was pretty cool. In fact, it was very well received on Nintendo Switch, and in June, it's shutting down. Kind of sad to see these games go, but that is, again, just how hard it is to make... I'm tired, man. It's been a long week. How hard it is to get these games to continue to thrive, and even if they have a really excited player base, they still need more. Now, the cool part about Knockout City, if you have been a fan of that game, is they are providing tools for players to run their own servers, and I think that's really nice. Now, in more Nintendo first-party news, the Canadian Nintendo general manager issued an apology, which does not really happen. What game would Nintendo be issuing an apology for? Think about it. In the last 6 months, what game would they want to say sorry for? Because this is Susan Pennefather, one of the greatest names ever, challenging Reggie Fils-Aimé. Now he's not there, so maybe Susan Pennefather actually is the queen bee. In the Financial Post, she talked about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. She says, we absolutely apologize because it is so important to give players a positive experience with our games, and when this doesn't happen, we take it very much to heart. What I can say is the feedback from players has absolutely been taken very seriously, and we are working on improvements to these games. Very interesting to see them publicly acknowledge that, the positive experience wasn't there. Now, this is very divisive, I feel, because Scarlet and Violet are amazing games. Their performance kind of sucked. The actual content, amazing. But Nintendo, at least over in Canada, is receiving this as players did not have a positive experience with the games. Now, like I said before in earlier videos, I hope this does not affect Game Freak, the Pokemon Company, and the development of future mainline Pokemon titles. I want them to remember that we love the content of the game, they just gotta tighten up the performance. But good accountability here, seeing Nintendo say this, and it sounds like they're gonna continue to work to make these games more playable and better performing. The best way would be to release a Switch Pro, but it doesn't seem like Nintendo is doing that anytime soon. So instead, it will be patches that help patch up these games and put them on a playing field that matches Nintendo's expected quality level and matches the positive experience that they expect to give gamers. Now, maybe it would have been good to hear from Nintendo back in November. We're now sort of 4 months out from the game's launch, but I do still think this is pretty nifty to see. And I've never heard of Susan Pennefather, but now she's one of my favorite Nintendo execs because she is being so forward, so blunt, so transparent, and really kind of keeping the fans in mind. And we'll have to wait and see if Nintendo actually does deliver substantial updates to help upgrade these games and their performance. That's TBD, but right now, Pennefather takes the cake. And my favorite story of the day is about Shadow drops. Y'all remember when Hollow Knight Shadow dropped at E3, when Fortnite Shadow dropped, and Cadence of Hyrule was like, huzzah, crossover. It's here. Nintendo has mastered the art of bringing indie games straight to your console the day you see them, and that has been fantastic. It's a beautiful, wonderful, magical sizzle that Nintendo is so good at doing and makes us as Switch fans feel so lucky. Well, Microsoft and Xbox decided to copy it a week or so ago with Hi-Fi Rush, when they brought Bethesda and Tango Gameworks' latest title, available now. That was the bang. So many good Foley effects in this video, guys. Well, Nintendo is going to one-up that if you believe the latest rumor coming from employees of Walmart. All right, they say that they have been shipped new promotional materials in anticipation of the next Nintendo Direct. The first is a big sign for Tears of the Kingdom, and this makes perfect sense and is nothing new. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom marketing really needs to get off in a major way as the game is out in less than 100 days, just over 3 months. So it would make perfect sense that stores like Walmart would start receiving like pre-order now, coming in May, all sorts of things, especially if Nintendo is going to drop a new trailer with maybe new character assets and a lot of interesting details. They also got a big signage for Minecraft Legends, which we know is coming to Switch and looks to be pretty cool, like a hybrid of Overlord, Pikmin, RTS. It looks really neat and has competitive co-op play. Third one, though, is the stealth drop, and that is for Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. This game has been beleaguered and belayed and all sorts of problems to the point that we didn't know if it would even come out. But I want you to remember that last week I said, wouldn't it be great if Nintendo just said, here, play Advance Wars? And remember, we did see that, like, fact, hardcore, concrete, not a rumor, Nintendo did update the Nintendo eShop ID for Tears of the Kingdom and for Advance Wars. So this is really lining up. Something is happening with Advance Wars, and according to this Walmart employee, this signage says available now. It doesn't say coming in July, coming in September, coming in May. It says available now for Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, a game that has not been shown for so long, a game that has no release date. We do know and expect a Nintendo Direct in February, and Jeff Grubb, Nate Drake, and more are pointing towards next week being the big week. And this cements it, because this rumor says that they're told to put up the signage on February 10th, which would be Friday. So Nintendo would do something like have their Direct on Wednesday and say, it's available now on the eShop and coming to retailers on Friday. And this would be their biggest stealth drop ever, because it's a full-on first-party retail release. This isn't a $15 indie. This isn't a $30 Hi-Fi Rush. This is Nintendo saying, we don't know what to do, have it. And I think that's pretty freaking awesome. Whether you're an Advance Wars fan or not, this is adding an incredible precedent to sort of the Beyonce style of release date dropping. Hi-Fi Rush was a good step. That game reviewed incredibly well and is apparently super popular. Advance Wars, I fear, won't do anywhere near as well, but it does establish like, hey, you can just say it's here, go play it. So I think Advance Wars needs to do really well. If they do stick to this, if this is the truth, if it does stealth drop next week during the Direct, or they say it's out in 2 days, remember, Nintendo likes Friday releases. So they could say, in 48 hours, you can play the latest Advance Wars adventure, which to me is effectively a stealth drop. Nobody in video games does 2-day release window marketing. Nobody does 2 weeks. 2 months is even like, whoa, that's balls to the wall at this point. But Beyonce must be dancing with Doug Bowser to say, hey, just put this thing out. And remember, we've talked in the past about how maybe Nintendo doesn't want to do an extensive marketing cycle. Maybe they feel like that is inconsiderate. Maybe they feel like this game, they don't want to put in the limelight. Maybe it just needs to get out there. They've been sitting on the copies, sitting on the code, sitting on the expected revenue, and they just have to cut their losses at this point and say, play it. But for me, for you, that's freaking amazing. A stealth drop of a first-party game is something Nintendo has never done at this caliber, at this level, and frankly, nobody has done. So it would establish like, hey, this is doable. And wouldn't you love it if there was a time where Sony had a state of play, or Microsoft had a new developer direct, and they were like, we're talking about this big new game, it's BioShock 4, boom! It's out now. Go to the store, they just put it on the shelves. Like, that would create mass chaos in the best way possible. I think it would deliver insane hype. Would it deliver 5 million, 10 million, 15 million sales? I can't promise you that. If the game's good, it will have great word of mouth and will have great legs. I hope that Advance Wars sells well enough to make Nintendo not write this out of their playbook. Because you can better believe that if it sucks, if it sells super poorly, Nintendo will be like, okay, that was like a last-ditch terrible effort and we're never doing that again. And I want them to do this all the time. I love stealth drops. Maybe Silksong stealth drops. We know that Team Cherry is already working on a new game called, like, what is it? Fantastic Mr. Fox? No, that's the movie. Fearless Fox? Firefighter Fox? Spy Fox. They're working on a new game called Spy Fox. And to me, that signals like Silksong is in the bag. It's ready to go and it's got to poop out at some point soon. And I do think now at this point, we see it at the next Direct, especially because we had rumors towards the end of 2022 saying like that game is soon. That game is really soon. And man, if we got an Advance Wars Hollow Knight Silksong double stealth drop, I have chills. I'm freaking out. This would be so cool. And man, it would make February, it would be the perfect sign of love. All of us would be Nintendo's Valentine if they gave us Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp available February 10th and Hollow Knight Silksong today after the Direct. Can you believe it? Your wallet would be like, la, 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 having a little bit of a time trying to get that money out there, and it would be going fast because you'd be dropping 60 on Advance Wars and 20 or 30 on Hollow Knight. But could you really complain? I think next week is going to be a killer week. The Direct is shaping up to be incredibly exciting, and it will be revealing in terms of Nintendo's plans for 2023 and beyond. And if this surprise stealth drop holds, if this Walmart signage is real, I think we made a big step in video game marketing. I think we made a big step in video game releasing, and I think we made a big step in holy crap, hallelujah, this is fun. So let me know what you think. If Advance Wars comes out, will you buy it? Will you pop your wallet and say, give me the goods? And is it just great to see a game come out that darn quickly, even though this one has had a lot of issues? I understand that. You could say this is like a specific scenario where this game is so troubled, it kind of requires something off the wall. But at the same time, I do think everyone takes note. Hi-Fi Rush and then Advance Wars back-to-back like that. More and more companies will use this Beyonce model as a beautiful way to get games in our hands ASAP, and I love it. I love you too. So stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Until next time, my wonderful friends. Appreciate y'all. SwitchForce out.